just a little bit. And we are live.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Tandy and April and Maria and Laura. Hi, how is everyone doing today? So I am here today with the beautiful bee of Ikale Sunflower. I'm sure everyone in here so far knows of bee. I'm so used to calling you Bosede, but bee. But all of our information is down below in the description, so please be sure to check that out. And we'll just get started if you're ready, sweetie.
I'm ready. I've got all my answers written down.
All right. So the first one is, can you tell us a little bit about your channel name and why you named it that?
Okay, so my channel is called Ikale Sunflower. Ikale is my father's ancestral home, and it's in a town called Okatipupa, which means sunshine state. And sunflower is my favorite plant, and it turns towards the sun. So I gathered, by naming my channel Ikale Sunflower, I'm honoring my father's spiritual roots.
I keep on muting myself just in case Sully goes crazy at the moment that you're talking. That is absolutely beautiful. I love that. And sunflowers are so gorgeous. So wonderful. So if you had to label your spiritual path, how would you label it? Or if we don't even talk about labels, can you tell us a little bit about your spiritual path?
I would say it's a mixture of eclectic and me still trying to find that path. So when I say eclectic, it's a mixture of tarot, Lenormand, oracle. I've been an SGI Buddhist for about 15 years, but I'm still kind of searching. Like, I'd like to get a bit more into the witchy side. So it's searching stroke eclectic.
Nice. So you would consider yourself a seeker then? Right?
Yes, a seeker.
Takes one to know one. So were you raised in this path, or did you veer off from your family?
I was actually raised Catholic because my mother was Catholic. So I was actually raised in the Catholic Church because London wasn't so accommodating in the late 60s, early 70s to different types of spiritual path. But my dad used to practice things like Orisha and the Ifa divination system. So I had that around me, but I wasn't really focused on it.
Wow, that's really cool. And do you find yourself touching on any of that was your father's ancestry, or what he,
I found as I got older, like when I got to like my probably mid to late 40s, that's when I started to kind of like regret not being interested in that path growing up. So I've kind of starting to embrace it now. Not the Ifa divination, but the Orisha. I've got like a Shango altar, and I give daily, intentions and stuff.
Beautiful. So do you feel supported by your family spiritually?
If the older generation was still alive, I think they would have fully supported me because they were very spiritual. But I find the younger generation don't really care. They're not too bothered. So when you say supported, no, not really.
Well, let me ask you. This is a simple thing because, see, my daughter and my son, they think I'm just off my rocker a little bit, whatever. They don't believe any of it. And neither does my other family, except for my sister. But my daughter, she bought me a tarot deck for Christmas. My son bought me like a witchy box for Christmas. And although they like to ridicule me sometimes, they're still supportive. You know what I mean? Do your children do that? Do they?
My daughter will, she bought me like the bag for the Heaven and Earth Tarot for Christmas, and she bought me the Benabel Wen book. But they don't. They might support me by buying me tarot or divination gifts, but they don't support me in terms of the practice because they don't believe in it.
Right. But I guess what I mean is they're not like for me, my family, they're not like telling me, no, you shouldn't do this. They're not harping on me all the time for my beliefs. So if they're just allowing me to be me, I look at that as being supportive. You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
I think because I'm their mother. So that's probably why they can't have that approach. But my sister said to me, it's crap, but I think because I'm their mother, they can't really say to me, well, they could, but they wouldn't really say to me that they don't believe in it. But I can tell by their expressions that they.
I gotcha. That's probably the same with my kids, to be honest, because they did start off trying to say, oh, that's crazy. And then my husband kind of got after them because he doesn't believe it either. But he's like, as long as you're in the house, you're going to respect, that's how it goes. So, yeah. So looks like we got a few more people. We got Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan.
And Skinny Eye Toe. And Amber.
Amber.
All right. So the next question, do you feel a stronger connection with any certain elements?
I guess I'd have to say fire because I'm Leo, it's a fire sign, and so I'd have to say fire. But then I'm not connected to the fire element like the Suit of Wands in the tarot deck. But
well, what suit do you feel more connected to? Do you feel more connected
to the swords? I love the swords, and that's
all right. What do you know what your rising sign is? That might be an indicator.
Do I know my sign?
Your rising sign in astrology?
I don't. Do you know why? Because in the UK, if you're not part of a multiple birth, they don't put your time on your birth certificate. It's only if you're like a twin or a triplet that your time of birth is recorded. And I did try to see if I could get my time of birth, and they said that they don't keep records so far back. So because I don't know my exact time of birth, I have to go to midnight to and that's not really an accurate depiction. But when I go to midnight, it says that my rising sign is Taurus, but I don't know how accurate that is because I don't know my time of birth.
I gotcha. Normally I go noon, not midnight.
Oh, noon, 12 noon. Yes, you're right.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, but you might still know your moon because moons change like every 2.5 days, roughly.
My moon is in Capricorn.
Ooh, earthy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have a favorite season of the year?
Yes, it's autumn because that's when the trees start to change color. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. It's just like a nice, cozy kind of environment.
So Jonathan said, my husband is always telling me that I have too many decks, but then for my birthday and Christmas, he buys me decks. Hey, isn't it about, we're adults, right? For me, I'll tell my kids, okay, this is what I want, but I give them the same respect because they're adults. So rather than just putting money in a surprise, like another pair of like socks that they really don't want or something like that, I say, okay, pick out some stuff, or would you like me to just, give you the money? Because we're all adults. They're like, yeah, just give me the money so I can get what I want. And that's what we do.
Well, my kids like designer stuff, so sometimes it's just better not to do that.
Yeah. This is a silly question, but do you use divination? And if so, what types of divination do you use?
Yes, I use tarot, oracle, and Lenormand.
Nice. Do you have a preference of those?
I actually like Lenormand, but
really?
I also like tarot. But I find Lenormand gives more precise readings. But I'd say tarot and Lenormand, but Lenormand is slightly bit more.
That is one that I have one deck and I still have not done too much with, but I want to.
What deck do you have?
I have the Celtic one. The Celtic
one.
one.
Okay, yeah.
I think I just watched one of your videos earlier today, trying to catch myself up a little bit. And one of them you showed of, I think it was around Lenormand, but it had
When
like
life gives you
keywords on.
mangoes. Is it called when life gives you mangoes? Was it a
Yes,
Caribbean word? Yeah.
yes. That would probably be good for me with if it's got like the keywords and stuff, or for any
Underneath it.
beginners. Yeah.
And there's another Lenormand deck called the Fairy Tale Oracle. Fairy as an Fairy. They're quite big. I haven't got them with me the next door, but they're quite oracle size, and they've got keywords underneath them as well, and quite
Oh,
brightly coloured and stuff.
that's probably a good idea for me. Then it wouldn't be quite as intimidating. So Laura says, my birth time isn't on my certificate either. Mom says it was 2 a.m. I'm sure it's not
Okay.
precise to the very minute, but my chart based on that time really makes sense. Yeah. Now, see, one of my friends, we were trying to figure out like her Vedic chart, and she doesn't know the exact time either. And her mother has passed. So we did, I think, like 4 different times and tried to figure out roughly in that period of time which one she felt suited her best.
Yeah.
I think people can always do that as well. Definitely. So, what you said, you're a sun sign of Leo?
My sun's sign is Leo. Yeah.
Wonderful. And do you know what your tarot birth cards are?
I actually worked this out. Yeah. It was, I've got 2 birth cards.
Mhm.
Because how I worked it out, I added the month to the day and the year. It came to 103, and then I added 10 plus 3, which came to 13. So I've got death because that's card 13, but then it says I can also add 1 plus 3, making 4, and number 4 is the Emperor. So my 2 birth cards are death and the Emperor.
Excellent. So you must be a life path 4 then.
Nope, let me read this down. I'm a life path 5. Yeah.
Mm.
Shall I read out to you what it says about life path 5?
Sure. Yeah.
So if I'm looking down, folks. So for life path 5, it says strengths. 5s are inquisitive and intellectual, often making great journalists and educators, strong communication skills with childlike sense of wonder for simple pleasures. And then the challenges or the shadow side of that life path number, it says his 5 may indulge a little too much in their favorite hobbies, tarot, stroke vices, like shopping or partying, may also come off as a bit superficial and non-committal in relationships.
Interesting. So here's the thing though. Everyone that I've interviewed thus far, their life path is actually the first card in their tarot cards because they're both figured from your birth date. So your
Really?
life path number, if it's 5, then you should be a Hierophant/Temperance as your birth cards.
That's interesting because both my children are Taurus, which is the Hierophant card, and my grandchildren are Sagittarius, which is Temperance. So it's not me, it's skipped my generation.
I would maybe just check into it again because I think maybe you got your calculations wrong for the tarot cards, the birth cards. Because it's usually based off of, at least, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone that's in here, the calculations go from your birthday. So however your life path breaks down,
Yeah.
5 would be like your core 1, and then 5 broken down would be 1 plus 4. So then it would be Temperance. So the Hierophant and Temperance. I could be wrong. There might be other ways, but I've never had anyone else that where theirs were different.
Well, or maybe my life path number is wrong, possibly.
Maybe one of the
Yeah,
calculations.
yeah. I'll look at that again.
Okay. There's actual calculators where you can just put in your dates and it'll come up for you.
Oh, come on.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Like life path calculator. Just type that in and it'll usually tell you.
It'll tell me. Okay.
Yeah. So, what is your significator card in the tarot? Do you use one?
I've got 3. Yeah. My minor, sorry, minor, my minor Arcana tarot card is the Queen of Wands because I see her that for Leo, and I also identify with Sun and the Strength card.
Nice. Yeah. So do you have a current, and I know this is going to be a very difficult question. Do you have a current favorite deck?
Difficult. I have staple decks, as you know, so like the Children's Tarot, the Afro Goddess Tarot, Everyday Enchantment Tarot, are some of my, and the Abana Weight are some of my staple decks. But my favorite decks change from week to week or day to day, so quite difficult question for me to answer.
That is difficult for most of us, seriously. Do you have a favorite tarot card that you normally like look for in the decks?
Yep, I've got quite a few, and they're around my family. So I have obviously the ones I mentioned before, which was the Sun, Strength, and Queen of Wands. But I also have the Hierophant because that represents my children, and I like Temperance. And I also like the Page of Pentacles because that's my son, and the Queen of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands.
Nice. Nice. And are those usually like make it or break it if you buy it? If you purchase something? Yeah. Nice. So, what decks are you currently working with right now?
Okay, so this week, apart from today, I've been working with this deck here. It's the Steampunk. I don't know if it's clear. Steampunk Tarot. It's quite a dark deck. And today I started working with the Afro Goddess. I'll just start working with this one today. Tarot.
Beautiful. Hi to everyone that's come in that I've missed too, by the way. Oh, and Jonathan, you're a Life Path 11 too. Yeah, that's powerful. I know Courtney's that as well. All right. Let's see. Are you a collector of tarot decks? And if so, no, you're not.
I'm a collector.
You know how many decks you have?
Can't say. But in the hundreds. But can't say.
All right. So, has your reading style changed over time? Well, first of all, how long have you been reading?
Many years.
20 years?
No, on and off, many years.
Yeah.
On and off. From my family, the late 80s.
Oh, okay. And so do you feel like it has changed significantly since you started reading?
I feel that my delivery has changed because obviously I'm now reading on things like Lives, Zoom, email, whereas I used to always do face-to-face readings. But because of TarotTube, you know, gone international now, and because of the coronavirus, I find that I'm doing more email or Zoom or video reading. So I would say that the delivery has changed. And in a way, it kind of affects your readings because when you do face-to-face readings with people, you can kind of feel their energy. And like a metal object, like a penny or coin that they've touched, and you can get a better kind of ambience of the person, and that can enhance your reading. But when you're doing like readings like this, like on YouTube or on Zoom or via email, you can't connect to that person as much as you can face to face. So I think it's more of a delivery that has changed.
I got you. So, do you have any daily rituals that you do?
Yes. So I've got a few altars. So every morning I kind of like light a candle in front of my Shango altar and do my daily intentions. I've also got some altars with my protection dolls on, and again I light a candle, say my intentions, and do a bit of polysante to kind of bless that space. And I also do daily pulls. So I do tarot, oracle, and Lenormand. And I normally post the tarot and Lenormand ones on my Instagram page.
Very nice. So what about dreams? Do you remember your dreams? And do you do like any dream work or anything like that?
I'm older, my memories get not too good, but if I do remember my dreams, I normally use my dream dictionary to interpret those dreams.
Do you keep like a dream journal?
I used to, but I find as I'm getting older, my memory's not too sharp no more. But I should start doing that again, I think, actually, because I quite enjoyed journaling my dreams.
You know, something else that I've been doing when I wake up first thing in the morning, if it's like a really like intense dream, I'm like really groggy. And I know that if I don't say something right away or write it down right away, and half the time, I mean, you're like half asleep still. So writing it is not always so easy. So I'll grab my phone and record it right on my phone, voice record it so that I remember.
Yeah.
And then you can take and write it down later. And when I've gone back into some of my dream journals, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot about that dream. I forgot about that dream. And I always date them to make sure that I can go back and look at around the time that I had that dream and what it could mean. Because I've always been a very avid dreamer. So, but
so when you date your dreams, do you do it like day, month, and year for the date?
Yeah, I do the whole day.
The whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can go back and check if there was like anything pertinent that happened around the world at that time. And I have found that that does come true for me sometimes. Big things. But I haven't always done that. And I don't, it's not like I write every single day in it. I don't. Because some are just like, I know, like a dream that I'm working through. Like, for instance, if I just watched like Supernatural before I went to bed and then I start dreaming about the Winchester boys, that's nothing significant in my dream journal, you know. But if it's something like really big, then I'll put it in there. And then I go back and check it and go, oh my gosh, you guys are not going to believe the stuff that's in this book. So, yeah. But I completely forget unless I put it in there. It's amazing how much I forget. So I always recommend the dream journals. All right, let me see. Where are we at here? We're getting through these really fast too, by the way, B. I think this is the fastest interview I've ever had. Seriously. I guess it does help writing down all of your stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a favorite holiday or Sabbath?
No.
No? Okay. See, this is why it's going really fast. Do you work with crystals? If so, do you have any favorites?
I don't really work with crystals per se, but I do find that if I'm doing like face-to-face readings, or sometimes in my lives, I wear hematite, like, you know, hematite bangle, bit down my bra, sometimes a ring, because it grounds me. You know, some people drain you, so I find that the hematite crystal stops me from getting drained. And my favorite crystals are kind of like Leo-ish ones, so things like tiger eye, cat's eye, rubies. I like rose quartz and also smoky quartz.
Nice. Okay.
But I don't do crystal healing or that sort of crystal work, even though I do find it quite interesting. But I don't really work with crystals that way.
I gotcha. And that's okay. I mean, just having them, you know, I have carried them in my bra, but sometimes I'll just carry them like in my pockets or whatever in order for protection, especially when you're going out in public and you need to like, you know, and I know that you are extremely empathic to a point of feeling other things. So that's why you need that shielding. It's important. So let's see. Do you have a special skill or hobby that you would like to tell us about?
Hobbies, as you know, tarot and divination is one of my hobbies, but I also like knitting and historical dolls.
Oh, do you have a collection of historical dolls?
I used to, but that's another story. But I did have a collection of historical dolls.
Very cool. Wow. So let's see here. I keep on referring to my list over here, guys, because there's so many questions. There's no way I could keep them in order. So let's see, do you currently have a favorite book or artist?
I have a favorite book, but it hasn't arrived yet. But the reason why it's my favorite book is because I've been following the author. It's a book called Gingers, and it's by Kieran Dodds. He's a photographer, and it's about the history of ginger people, and ginger as a gene, and ginger people, throughout Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Caribbean, and it talks about the ginger gene, and stuff like that, and ginger DNA, and it's all photographs of. I might actually do a flip through when it comes through, actually, but it's actually photographs of different ginger ethnicity people. I've always been fascinated by ginger people, by ginger people. So
do you have
that's my
any
favorite.
knowledge on that so
Sorry?
far? Do you have any knowledge on that so far about the gingers? Because my husband was a ginger and my daughter's a ginger.
I don't know, but I know that I've got gingers in my dad's family as well. But I don't know. I just find it interesting. So that's why I've got this book. Well, it's coming to me so that I can read up on it more.
I can't wait to hear, what you find out with that.
I'll do a flip through when it comes through on my channel. I'll do a book flip through of it.
Awesome, thank you. That is very interesting. My husband's mother was also a ginger. I mean, like bright red hair, and I have other family members that have the bright red hair. So, yeah, definitely, that's very interesting. All right. Do you have a current TV series that you are enjoying?
Yep. I like Long Lost Family. Yeah, I like the UK one and the US one, and they also have like a reunion one as well. So that's what I've been enjoying watching.
I've not heard of that one. Very cool.
But it's about people that have been like adopted, mainly in the 60s, and then them trying to reconnect with their biological parents.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That sounds interesting, definitely. So do you have a favorite witch movie or series?
I've got two, but I'm not sure whether they're witchy. One is the Wizard of Oz, and the other one is the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So I don't know whether they're witchy films, but they're the two witchy ones that I like, if they are witchy.
I'd say that they're still witchy. There's witches in them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're like fantastical, like fantasy. So that's cool. So do you have do you prefer coffee or tea?
I kind of like them both the same. I love coffee, but I also drink like herbal tea equally. So it's coffee and herbal tea.
And do you have a favorite herbal tea? A favorite flavor or anything?
I like ginger and eucalyptus.
Nice.
Or mint.
I love the ginger and lemon. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Nice, isn't it? Yeah.
So is there a time period that you feel drawn to other than now?
Yeah, Victorian England, because it was like a 63-year period from 1837 to like 1901, and it was a time when there was the first industrial revolution, and political change happened there as well, and social change. So I kind of like that era.
Cool. So if you could have a deep conversation with anyone during any time period, who would it be and why?
It would have to be Pamela Coleman Smith. Yeah. I would like to know whether she experienced discrimination in terms of her gender, sexuality, and race. I would also like to know if she was allowed to include diversity in her deck during that time, and if she was around now, what would her deck look like? What would her RWS Smith deck look like? I also I read her book called Anansi Stories, and it's written in Jamaican patois. So I'd love to know what her accent was like, you know, and if she could switch accents from either English, American to Patois. So I'd love to meet her and just see, you know, how her deck would be like in the modern world, and you know,
cool.
stuff.
Very nice. So if you could go to any event in history, what would it be and why?
It would have to be the Bristol bus boycott in 1963. My dad used to always talk to me about it when I was growing up. So Bristol is a city in southwest England, and in 1963 there was like a bus company. It was called the Bristol Omnibus Company, and they wouldn't employ black or Asian, but Asian is what you probably call Indian. They wouldn't employ black or Asian bus conductors or bus drivers. Yeah. So there was like a boycott of the buses in Bristol, and it drew national attention in Britain. And there was interventions from church groups. The High Commission of Trinidad and Tobago got involved, and that was the result of Parliament, the British Parliament in 1963, passing the Race Relation Act, and where it made racial discrimination unlawful in public places. And then that was followed by the 1968 Race Relation Act, which extended the provision to housing and employment.
Wow. Isn't it hard to believe it was that short a period of time ago?
1963.
Wow. My goodness. Yeah, that would be quite the time. All right. Let's see. Do you have a website?
In the process. I need to get my act together. So I'm in the process.
Are you going to be doing like the readings and stuff like that? All your information for readings and stuff?
I just put all my information down in there for people to contact me and stuff. I do have like a business page on Facebook, but I think people want to see visuals and they want to know more about your practice. So it is good to have a website, really, to be quite honest.
Okay. And how long have you been on YouTube? Was this your first account?
I had another account in my name. So I've been 3 years active and 2 years lurking. So 5 years.
Okay. So what is the direction that you envision for your channel going forward?
I'm not sure. I mean, this year I'm in the year of the hangman. So I want to spend this year thinking about what way I want to go. But as I said earlier, it will still be tarot, yeah. But I also interested in some of the witchy kind of paths. So I'm still kind of contemplating in my hangman year.
Very nice. And what do you wish to gain from your channel?
Growth in my spiritual path, interactions, like things like what I'm doing now with like-minded people, and knowledge. Divination knowledge.
Right on. My gosh. 333 right now. I just noticed when I looked at it, it was 3333. And I don't have my thing down here. I will have to email that to you later, what the meaning of 3333 is. But just as I was getting ready to say, this is the fastest that we have ever done, I looked up and that's how long we had been live, was 3333. So maybe we're starting new precedents for shorter interviews.
So 33 minutes and 33 seconds, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. Interesting, huh?
I think if you kind of write them down first, though, you don't waffle. So I think you just got the answers straight, you know? That's probably why it was so quick.
So I do have to ask you, and this is a part where I normally ask everyone that does an interview. Can I open it up for other people to ask you any questions?
Yeah,
are you
sure.
comfortable with that? All right, guys. If anyone has any questions for B, please tell me now, or please put it in the chat. Let's see. I'll catch up a little bit over here. Life Path 2, Essence, as a life path too. Oh. And we're going to get rid of that. And the best grounding stones for me are Tiger's Eye and Ocean Jasper. You know. April said, Lady Blind Wolf, holy crap, I was just talking about that and couldn't remember the name of it when I was doing a video. I'm not sure what that was about. It was probably something that we were talking about, unless somebody else said something up there. Let's see. Laura says, I think that a lot of us were multi-year lurkers before we started.
Yeah.
But it was only 47 years ago. That's what Jonathan said. Surprising. It's mind-blowing that it's just 47 years ago that was the case.
Bristol bus run. I think it was 57. Wasn't it 57 years ago? 1963.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be more like close to 60.
Yeah.
Right. But still, I mean, that is an incredibly small amount of time when you think about it. You know, that we hadn't evolved before that. We're still fighting many of the same battles.
I think maybe because Britain wasn't so multicultural. I think it's a bit different than America. I think it wasn't so multicultural before then because they had a lot of like Windrush influxations and stuff. So it wasn't so multicultural. And Bristol is an area where there's a lot of people of colour that live there. So maybe it was just people weren't used to seeing different people, possibly.
Well,
but my father used to always talk about it all the time. I remember him talking about it a lot.
Yeah, thank God that they did, because it started, it started it. But so Blue Crescent Tarot asks, what is your favorite animal? Do you have a favorite animal?
Cats. I love cats.
How would you describe your witchy that?
My witchy
that.
Probably eclectic, because I'm not quite sure on what path I'm going to go. So it's going to be eclectic until I find my niche.
Very nice. Laura says, what is the major arcana card that you find most difficult? Tend not to like the artwork so much, if any? That's a good question.
I've got to think about that. I think it's the devil.
The devil
card. Yeah, I don't like that card.
I always laugh at the devil. I never have problems with the devil. Probably because that's my card.
Oh, is that are you Capricorn? Okay. That's why you smile when I have Moon in Capricorn.
So Jonathan asks, what is your favorite tarot deck of 2020? Do you have a favorite 2020 deck?
I think it could be the Super Lunaris tarot deck. That's one of my newest ones. It was a Kickstarter deck. I quite like that deck. And also Heaven and Earth. I like that tarot deck, but I don't like the card stock is a bit glossy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just seen both of those in the video that you did today. Or, well, you did it like the end of December, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm just catching up. Oh, it was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe that people couldn't remember the name of. Right. I did just a review on my channel. Oh, okay. All right. Tangi said, isn't that a song? Laugh at the Devil? No, I don't know if there's Laugh at the Devil. I know Sympathy for the Devil, which is a really good song, by the way. But
Jonathan says he loves the Super Lunaris tarot.
Yeah. Oops. You guys are moving too fast.
But the thing is, my deck's starting to chip because it's got like well, I call it copper, but everyone's saying that it's rose gold. But the edging is kind of chipping on my one.
I think rose gold is essentially looks like copper. They're like the same. Yeah. I think maybe the rose gold is like a lighter shade of copper, but I see them as copper looking too. My ring is like, you probably can't even see it. It's like
rose gold. Yeah. But it's chipping though, and you know, I'm thinking I've only used it a few times. I wonder what the longevity of that deck will be because it's already starting to chip the edging.
I'm having the same problem with my Bonestone and Earth Flush.
Really? Wow.
And maybe it's more prevalent. Maybe you can see it more than another one because it's red. It's like a bright
Possibly.
red. So I don't know. Maria says, what deck would you like to have that doesn't yet exist? Oh, here we go.
There's a deck called the Harmony Tarot deck. That one.
Okay. I think what she's trying to ask though is there like a certain kind of deck that's not been created yet that you wish that you could have like a theme like that or something?
Oh, a theme deck. Yes. I'd like a book on like not a book, a deck on like the history of Black Britain. If there was that sort of deck that existed, I would like that sort of deck. You know, going back maybe from the medieval times up until now. I'd like to know that sort of thing. You know, or a deck on Black British history. That would be interesting as well. That sort of theme.
That's really cool. Laura says, I find a lot of the metallic edging chips after a while. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hardly have my Bonestone and Earth Flush, but maybe, 2 weeks, and it was already chipping, and it's chipping significantly. But
did you like to do? Did you like to do
my I'm sorry, what?
Did you let the creator know that it's chipping to see if they can replace it?
No.
But it's out of print now, isn't it? The Bonestone.
Yeah, it was a one-time printing kind of thing. Well, I don't know if she's ever going to go to, mass
market. Yeah.
Right. Which, I hope she does because it's a beautiful deck. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people that would love to get their hands on it. But yeah, I think that she had even done an email that said right after printing, maybe give it a while because I think it takes a while for like the edging in order to like sit. You're not supposed to use it, but I could not keep my grubby paws off of it. And I'm always putting lotion on my hands. I'm getting older. My hands are always dry. Plus I wash them all the time, so they're dry. And maybe that's another reason it got so bad. I don't know. But, and a couple other versions too, I think. You're welcome. Let's see.
I wonder if it goes mass produced, who will take it up? Do you think it'll be Hay House if it does go mass produced?
I don't know. I would think maybe something in Australia where she's at. So maybe like Rockpool. I think Rockpool.
Yeah.
Australia.
Somebody said that theirs chipped in 2 days. It's not good, is it?
Yours chipped within 2 days?
Cavita, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. I hope that there is a reprint of the Bonestone. I'm lusting after that one. It is really, really good. Oh yeah, Cavita. Which one of yours chipped in 2 days, honey? Was it what did you call it? Super Lunaris?
I can't even pronounce it. It's a tongue twister. Super Lanus or Laurent. Oh, can't pronounce it. Super Larus.
Or was it the Bonestone? Because who was it also told me that their Bonestone? Oh, Amber. Was it Amber that hers is chipping already too?
That's not good because it wasn't a cheap deck, was it?
Oh no, it cost me with shipping like I think 126 bucks.
Yeah.
But I'm still, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I am not complaining. It is one of my favorite decks, period. And I don't really care for the red. I'm not a red person usually.
I love red. Yeah.
Oh, see, but so if it, and I don't know, maybe I don't know, but is there a way of getting the gilding off of the edges, or do you just wait for it to completely wear down?
I think Boho Tarot done a video on how to take the edging off. Do you know Boho Tarot?
Oh, yeah. Don Michelle. Okay. I'll check it out. Hi, Ginger Faye. Oh, the Bonestone. Kavita said the Bonestone. Okay, so it's not just me. We need a dark crystal deck.
Dark crystal.
I still haven't seen that. I've got to. Let's see. Not a red person. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've never been a red fan. All right. Well, does anybody else have any questions for the beautiful bee? And I told her when she came in, look at that beautiful pink she's wearing. She's like matching the background. Doesn't she look gorgeous? Don't mean to put you on the spot or anything. And, it takes a minute, but
it's on the screen.
This was great, though. A lot of my interviews have gone sometimes close to 2 hours. So,
really?
Yeah. And I thought maybe I'm going to start cutting down the questions so they're not as long. This was fabulous. We are going to end in less than
a lot of people tend to waffle around the questions.
Yeah. Or I get into the conversations and we get into, get off track and stuff. I was just going to say, where does she get that lovely pink sweater? Exactly.
Oh, this one. Do you have a shop called Next in America?
Next.
I don't know. NEXT?
I don't know. No, not that I know of.
Next. It's like a UK clothing company.
Very nice.
Okay.
Laura says, let me put it up here. I am often in awe of bees' efficient answering of tags. So concise. I am definitely a waffling person with them. Me too.
I'm not really a waffler. I'm just straight to the point.
Yeah, that's good.
What is it, Maurice?
Well, a bee is all up in her sword's energy. She gets right to the point. Exactly. Oh, okay. Tangi said she has heard. Whoops. She has heard of the Next store.
Oh, is it in Canada, Tangerine? Yeah, in Tangerine. That's why I got it from Next.
And now she's thinking waffles. Waffles. Too funny. Bee is cat-like with her stuff. She just knows. Exactly. She's right to the point. Rawr. Well, this is wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me, honey. I know you said you were a little bit nervous, but it went really well, don't you think?
Very nice. It went well. What is SNS? Also, in my meeting, she connects to the energies for her. Oh, thank you, Neem.
And she says that, yeah, I know that she felt my energy and has been spot on. That's what we were talking about. That's why I said I understand why she has to use like certain crystals where, because the first one that you and I did, because you had asked me, do I feel it in my body? And like I said, I've always kind of felt stuff in my body, but I never associated that with other things until you and I did that reading.
I remember that now.
Together. And you had made mention that you were feeling the heat like in your chest. And I could feel it in my back at the same time. I'm like, whoa, that's what it is. I just thought, well, I'm getting old. These things happen, I'm just feeling this stuff. It wasn't until that I figured out.
Because normally if I feel it around here, it's normally love. If I feel it in the back, that's like trapped energy here. Somebody's not authentic, sweaty palms, nerves, or, and stuff like that. Or not being straight. So, but I find that I get those feelings more when it's face-to-face readings, though, because you're more in tune with that person. Whereas when you're reading online, there's a barrier, isn't there? The internet's a barrier to connecting with that person sometimes.
Have you ever thought about doing a video on that, honey? I mean, literally letting people know some of those things, because they might be experiencing some of the things too, and they just never, like myself, put them together.
I could do.
Yeah, I would love to hear all of, little ticks and stuff that happen in your body and how that translates, like spiritually or psychically. Because I feel that is like clear, what is it? Sentience? Clear sentience, which is like stepping up your clear empathy to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essence says, B is the first YouTube creator who I got a reading from. I kept saying,
Really?
no thanks. I feel,
Watch that video. Made it.
I love B's reading. So on point and to the point. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you.
Then one day she said, I feel drawn to you, Neem. I was so, ooh, okay. Wow. Yeah, she's saying, we want to hear from you, B. So that would be an awesome video if you would do that. I'm sure
I
there's
might do it as a hashtag.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, because I'd like to know how everybody else feels about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to see a video on that.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today, sweetheart. It took me a long time to get you here with me.
I know.
But I'm glad that you finally did. This was wonderful. It's wonderful getting to know you a little bit more because you are very concise and to the point. So now I feel like I know you even better, and these are fun. Doing lives with other people, I'm happy that I'm actually seeing more people doing these now, whether they're doing readings together or they're interviewing each other. I love it. That's the kind of stuff that I love to see on YouTube. Seriously. So thank you for joining me, and thank you everyone for joining us. And I'm sending you love and light.
Okay. Bye everyone.